Check. Check 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that good?
Check 1, 2. Closer. Oh, I see what you're saying like that. Mm-hmm. Most people are probably taller than I am. So. Good? Do I need, I don't need to stand and check again, do I? Where do you want me to put your,
In the podium, please.
in the podium?
I don't know, are we just going this way? Yeah.
Y'all want me to put them by your seats?
Yes, actually.
Where are your seats?
Oh, right. Okay. You're gonna have to kick those first two people.
Is it, Kyle and?
Yeah.
Okay. And that girl?
Yes.
Okay.
Alright, Liddell. Yep. Richard. Boyd. Bride. Roulette. Bruder. Caputo. Carpenter. Kerrigan. Sensei. Yes, but it was raining, and so we didn't pull out. Yeah, everyone needs a program. Get the teachers there. Yeah. Well, any word on the awards? Okay. So then, we need to... Alright. I mean, they're just... I can't pull them out while it's raining.
No.
They're all gonna get messed up. Alright. Eli? Yes. Estado? Barca? Barry? Victor? Sanders?
Do you want me to open plastic thing to put over there?
Yes, it's under the...
One box, or is that just one box of program?
No, there's two. Yeah, there's two. Julie, they're under the other table. Right? Yes. Gardner, George, Gordon, Buxton, Carrera. Yes. We're gonna have to figure out like this. Yeah, let's start the time. I mean, they're in these little things. That's what you said? Okay, we're putting out awards. Okay. Sure. Okay. Alright, ready? Party. Harris. see the boxes in the back? We're missing this one. Riley O'Brien, Aaron O'Connor, James O'Connor, Gordon O'Connor, and then Owen Joe. Tanko, Paredes, Pollock, Hope, Poole, Posadas, and Potts. Yes. Restivo? Yes. Rice? Yes. Ryder? Rhodey? Ross? Rooney? Runyon? Sabo? Salmorin? Polfella? Ellows. Searson? Seymour? Shippey? Stowell? Sumner? Swanson? Tessier? And Tribble. Yes. Julie, will you just stack these for me? They're all, I'm gonna put this. Everybody put it in our first list. Where's the others? Yes. And yeah, whatever the first ones. Yes.
Yeah, I actually made sure that I did not put it in reverse order.
Okay, ready, Nikki? Yes. Burner, Bulleted, Wayne, Weaver, Western. Willie, can you Burner who? Burner, Bulleted? Yes. Wayne, Weaver, Western, White, Woods, Wyman, and White. Yes. They're not even stacked. All right, the awards are underneath.
They took it out there to hand it out.
Good evening. I apologize for the delay. We wanted to get a little more rain in before we started. We're putting the awards out right now. As soon as we finish with that, we'll begin. I appreciate your patience. We've only waited a few weeks for this.
Good evening, everybody. As president of the senior class, and on behalf of all the members of the senior class of Bishop Anglin High School, I would like to welcome everyone to our commencement exercises and ask that you please turn off all cell phones during the ceremony. I would especially like to acknowledge the presence of the Most Reverend Robert E. Guglielmoni, Bishop of Charleston, Reverend Juvignev Jolinsky, Chaplain of Bishop Anglin, Dr. Michael Martaccio, Director of Catechesis and Christian Initiation for the Diocese of Charleston, Mrs. Sandra Leatherwood, Superintendent of Catholic Schools, Mrs. Jacqueline Kasprowski, Associate Director for Secondary Education, and our principal, Mr. Patrick Finneran. Now, please remain standing as Father Jolinsky gives the invocation.
His Excellence, Bishop Guglielmone, Mr. Finneran, the principal, all teachers, dear guests from far and from near, parents, relatives, and friends, and you, my dear students. I truly believe that today's graduation and the feast day of the Most Holy Sacred Heart of Jesus, which falls today, is not a coincidence. There is a beautiful text in the Gospel. One morning, after Simon Peter, James, and John have toiled all night and caught nothing, no fish, only their own emptiness, Jesus comes to them and invites them to go out to the deeper waters, to put out into the deep. Dunc in altum in Latin. They do, and they catch so many fish, their boat begin to sink. A few years ago, each of you accepted an invitation to put out into the deep. In choosing Bishop's England High School, you chose to explore deeper waters in search more knowledge, sharper skills, deeper understanding. May God, who began this good work in you, enabling you to use your talents to the fullness. May God give you the grace to make wise choices and to be faithful to your commitments, always confident in the support of those who love you. Jesus, meek and humble of heart, please help them to use all that they learned here to make the world a better place and to always seek the greater good. We thank you for giving us the opportunity to build our community with these young men and women while they are here. Though they are leaving our school, we know they will always be with us as a part of Bishop's England High School family. And we ask that the bonds they have been created here remain strong despite any distance. Gracious God, our source of light and wisdom, we ask for your almighty hand to be upon these graduates as we send them forward. With advanced degrees and credential in hand, may their achievements grow and enrich their communities. With the speeches concluded, may their voices rise up to pronounce peace and justice in the world. And please join me in this simple prayer Jesus told us in your intentions. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Most Sacred Heart of Jesus, have mercy on us.
Please be seated. I am very pleased now to introduce Mr. Patrick Finneran, Principal of Bishop Anglin High School.
Good evening. Are we settled now? We're good? You're going to get wet again, so don't worry about it. What a fitting end to your school year. We wait for graduation. That's okay. It's here. I have 3 things that I hope you learned while you're here at Bishop Anglin. The first is that you are loved. I don't tell you enough that I love you, but I do. But I want you to look to your left and your right and behind you and know that the love you give out to the world is what you receive tonight. You're an amazing class. You love each other, and you love your families and your friends, and they're here this evening and watching online. Don't forget that. You are always loved here. The second thing is that you will go out into different vocations. Doctors, lawyers, teachers. Yeah? No? Okay. In a variety of different things. But your number one vocation is simple. It's a call to holiness. You are called to be holy. Everything you learned through the days here at Bishop Anglin High School was to send you out with the call for holiness. Don't forget that. The last thing that I hope you remember is that the world around us is crazy. There's a perfect timing. $50 for that guy. The world around you is crazy, and there's a lot of things that are happening, a lot of stuff. And you guys are young, but you're going out into the world. And there's a quote, and depending on who you look at online, who it belongs to, but when there's problems, always look for the people who are the solution. That is your job. And the solution is simple. Service through love. I'm not talking about service hours. I'm talking about the small things. Taking care of your fellow man. If you take those 3 things with you from Bishop Anglin High School, that you are loved, you are called to be holy, and that service to your fellow man, we have done our job. As I look out at you all and the years that we had spent together, I can tell you that you guys are a perfect example of what we try to do day in and day out. So for that, I thank you. And congratulations to the class of 2020.
So, Mr. Finneran, I would now like to present our class gift. The senior class of 2020 will use its class funds to provide a $5,000 scholarship for a deserving incoming freshman with demonstrated need who otherwise would not be able to attend Bishop Anglin. At this time, I would like to introduce Alexis Susan Moss, the second honor graduate who will give the salutatory.
go ahead and take this off just to avoid any future confusion. I would like to start my speech by thanking Bishop Guglielmone, Dr. Martaccio, Miss Leatherwood, Miss Kaprowski, Father Zielinski, Mr. Finneran, and the family and friends of the class of 2020. But who I'm really here to talk about today is y'all, our class of 2020. After all, it is our day, isn't it? What I admired about our classmates and teachers was that we could make anything fun. We could turn dedication and hard work into a process that was worthwhile and enjoyable. I remember how Miss Mack slammed her cane that appeared out of nowhere to teach us about the caning of Charles Sumner. I remember Mr. Perry letting us play Mario Kart in his room after exams. Dr. Hellstrom consistently reminded us that it was always a great day for biology. Mrs. Durst, Mrs. Estrada, and Father Babick nourished our faith and encouraged us to find joy in it. I remember how our hard work during practice turned into state championships for volleyball, girls tennis, boys cross country, girls swimming, girls golf, boys golf, baseball, girls soccer, boys track, girls lacrosse, and boys lacrosse over the last 4 years. Woo! Our drama department turned months of dedication and hard work during rehearsals to amazing musicals and plays like Narnia and I Hate Shakespeare. Our choir exercised that same dedication and took it all the way to New York. Student government worked tirelessly so that we would have awesome events like semi and prom. Well, maybe not prom this year, but you get what I'm saying. And where would I be without shouting out our mathletes? I remember my classmates turning Hurricane Dorian into a party and stopping a 5-mile run to jump off a creek. I remember Brandon army crawling across Miss Estrada's room in the dark to turn on the Christmas lights while we were watching The Chosen, all without her knowledge or detection. I remember Jose and Sullivan pretending to care about The Bachelor during stats class. And I remember getting consequently yelled at for talking about The Bachelor during stats class. I remember Harrison's iconic piece punctuating the ordinarily dull announcements and filling them with life. I remember all those times I went to Starbucks to work on group projects and having to wipe the tears off my face from laughing so hard. I also remember having to wipe off the tears off my face because I was positive there's no way on earth we were going to get it done. But we always did, and that horrible stress got us to where we are now. My classmates made everything fun, and when things weren't fun, we were in it together. When we were as separated and as isolated as we could be, we still reached out. We still communicated. We still loved and supported each other. I want to thank y'all for being an amazing class and for the last 4 years. 4 years that felt cut too short. When I was reflecting, gross word I know, on our COVID class of 2020, the year that was cut too short, this quote from Andre Ackerman was brought to mind. I suddenly realized that we were on borrowed time, that time is always borrowed, and that the lending agency exacts its premium precisely when we are least prepared to pay and need to borrow more. Maybe one of the lessons we learned from this is to seize life to its fullest and to enjoy the little moments and the everyday before that time is gone. It might not seem like we're ready. I certainly don't feel like I am, but we are, and we're gonna crush it. That's it.
In the 2019-20 school year, 24 alumni families of Bishop England gave our school their greatest gift. They gave us their son or daughter, grandson and granddaughter. We would like to acknowledge and thank these alumni for entrusting us to help develop them to their greatest potential. We encourage all alumni to give the gift that they received years ago, the gift of a wonderful Catholic education. Will the following students please stand as I read your names? Please hold all applause until I read the last name. The following individuals have been inducted into the Bishop England High School Legacy Society and have received their legacy pins. Sykes Berry, Brianna Blanchard, Sullivan Clare, Alyssa Condor, Alexis DeMarco, Andrew Ferry, Alex Fisher, Emily Flanders, Mary Love Guerreri, Kevin Hart, Bella Kissel, Jackie Lawrence, Maddie Lawrence, McKenna Martin, Molly McManus, Charlie Michelle, Thomas Michelle, Luke Noble, Emily Poole, Emma Puckhaber, Riley Ross, Kayla Rooney, Maggie Runyon, Colby Searson, and Katie Weaver. I now ask if the alumni parent or grandparent of one of these students to please stand to be recognized. I would now ask all the alumni of Bishop England High School to please stand. We would like to thank and acknowledge all of you. You are always and will be the best part of Bishop England High School. Thank you all.
Now, Mrs. Nancy Heath, Academic Dean, will present the Rector's Awards, as well as many other scholarships and awards.
I don't know.
I'm going to announce the Rector's Awards first, and I'm going to name all the nominees for each award, and I would ask that you remain seated. The winner will come up and receive their award on stage. Each year at graduation, Bishop England recognizes the achievements of former rectors by presenting awards in their honor to outstanding graduating seniors. The faculty selects the nominees for each award, and the senior class selects the winner. The O'Brien Ring is awarded in honor of our first rector of the school, Reverend Monsignor Joseph L. O'Brien, or Doc O'Brien, who organized the school with just 67 students in 1915 with the help of Reverend James J. May. The ring is given to a male student of the senior class for exemplary conduct, personal reputation, personality, disposition, respect for authority, devotion to duty, and responsibility. The students nominated by the faculty are Harrison Esty, Jaron McCoy, Charlie Michelle, Jose Rentas, Jack Ryder. Selected by the senior class to receive the O'Brien Ring, Charlie Michelle. Doc O'Brien, as he was called, was followed by Reverend Monsignor John L. Manning, a graduate of Bishop England, under whose guidance the west wing of the school was opened in 1947. The Manning Ring is awarded to the female student of the senior class for exemplary conduct, personal reputation, personality, disposition, respect for authority, devotion to duty, and responsibility. The students nominated by the faculty are Emma Albano, Gracie Crosby, and Shauna Swanson. Selected by the senior class to receive the Manning Ring, Shauna Swanson.
You're doing good. You're good.
By 1959, another Bishop England graduate, the Reverend William J. Croghan, became the third rector of the school. Under his supervision, additional property was purchased for the school and enrollment expanded to over 700 students. The Croghan Esprit de Corps Cup is given in his honor for willingness to help, organizational ability, and school spirit. The students nominated by the faculty are Emma Albano, Gracie Crosby, and Harrison Estey. Selected by the senior class to receive the Croghan Cup, Harrison Estey. This last Rector's Award is given in honor of Reverend Robert J. Kelley, who became the school's fourth rector in 1964 and who endeared himself to the faculty, students, and the Charleston community because of his love for the school and profound interest in its many noteworthy accomplishments, both academic and athletic. The Kelley Leadership Award is given for outstanding leadership, enthusiasm, and good school citizenship. The students nominated by the faculty are Emma Albano, Harrison Estey, and Shauna Swanson. Selected by the senior class, Harrison Estey. The first Honor Graduate Award is named in honor of Our Lady Seat of Wisdom. This award is given for the highest academic average for 4 years of high school studies. This year's valedictorian is Emma Louise Albano. The Father Carmody Cup is given to the second honor graduate. This year's salutatorian is Alexis Susan Moss. The recipients of the Monsignor James J. May Religion Award for apostolic work in their parishes are Shauna Marie Swanson and Jake Scott Nadeau. The William Shaney Moore IV Scholarship is presented in memory of Shane Moore, a 1990 graduate of Bishop England High School. to a member of the senior class who exhibits kindness and respect for other people and their property. This year's recipient is Matthew Jacques McQuaid. The Stephen Kramer Memorial Scholarship is sponsored by the National Honor Society and is awarded to a boy or girl who has met the following requirements: achievement of an overall 85 average or a 3.5 GPA or better, and demonstration of qualities of loyalty and honesty and outstanding efforts in academics. This year's recipient is Charles Hampton Michelle. The Albert Attili School Services Award for service to Bishop England High School is presented to Gracie Ann Crosby. The Aline Barnes Scholarship is awarded by the Science Department faculty to a student who has at least an 80 cumulative average, an interest and aptitude for science, a positive work ethic, and participation in service to others in our school and/or community. This year, the scholarship goes to Charles Hampton Michelle. The Mary Marquardt Scholarship is awarded to a student who may have had adversity but attempts to find good in it while turning to God to get through it, is caring of others, maybe someone who least expects recognition, is involved in extracurricular activities that he or she is truly passionate about, is not afraid to do the right thing, and is still respected by peers, and is a conscientious person about schoolwork. The faculty nominates 3 students, and the family chooses the winner. This year's recipient is Sarah Elizabeth Gordon. The Bishop England Student Government Association's Trinity Scholarship is awarded this year to 3 students, Gracie Ann Crosby, Emma Louise Albano, and Harrison Weldon Esty. The Carroll St. Clair Bishop England Scholarship is awarded to a graduating senior who meets the following criteria: enrollment in predominantly college prep A1 coursework, a cumulative average of 80% or better, an interest in pursuing science, technology, or an educated-related major in college, a positive work ethic and exemplary integrity, self-assuredness, and a drive to maximize his or her opportunities, as well as kindness and a welcoming attitude to all. This year's recipient is Charles Hampton Michelle. The Brian Rginia Art Award is given to a high school senior who has shown a strong interest in art and a desire to pursue art after high school. The recipient of this award is a student who demonstrates notable progress as an artist in both art technique and overall craftsmanship, development as an artist during high school, and a strong communication of meaning in their artwork. This year's recipient is Jordan Adair O'Connor. The Magnolia Make a Difference Award was developed to honor Bishop England's seniors who made significant contributions to their school community through their time, actions, talents, and dedication in mentoring our option students. The honorees selected served as role models for compassion and service and strived to make the option students' high school experience one of inclusion and acceptance. They have a passion for helping others in their school community. This year's recipients are Marco Antonio Bruette, Jillian Grace McMurtry, and Madison Ann Mummert. And now I'll announce a number of our academic department awards for outstanding performance and/or effort. The recipient of the Business Award goes to Olivia Hope Dussault. The recipient of the Anne Villapanto English Award goes to Jaron Charles McCoy. The Sister Christine Winkleman English Award goes to Emma Louise Albano. The Father Charles J. Maloney Literary Award is awarded to Natalie Lauren Rice. The recipients of the Drama Award are Riley Ann Ross and Catherine Louise Weaver. The recipients of the Chorus Award are Peter John Bride and Mary Love Guerreri. The recipient of the Math Award is Jaron Charles McCoy. The recipient of the Science Award is Emma Louise Albano. The recipient of the Social Studies Award is Jordan Adair O'Connor. The recipients of the Theology Award are Emma Louise Albano and Jake Scott Nadeau. The World Language Spanish Award goes to Jose Julian Rentas. Congratulations to all of our award winners and the class of 2020. And now Mrs. Lisa Gastaldi will present the remainder of the senior awards.
The Mr. and Mrs. Michael L. Rooney Jr. Scholarship Trust is given in memory of Mr. and Mrs. Michael L. Rooney Jr. to a senior who exemplifies outstanding character, service to the school, and participation in school athletics. This year's recipient is Charles Hampton Michelle. The Xan Bowman Scholarship is awarded to one senior attending Clemson University and two who are attending the Bridge to Clemson program. Alexander Bowman was known as Xan the Man. He passed away in March 2017, shortly before he was scheduled to graduate from Clemson. His family and friends wanted to keep his memory alive in a way that would make him proud. Each year, a golf tournament is held in his honor to raise money for these scholarships. Students are asked to submit an essay on their Bishop Anglin experience, including extracurricular involvement, attitude, spirituality, academic standing, and community service, and a zest for life and love of Bishop Anglin. This year's recipients are Jaron Charles McCoy, Charles Hampton Michelle, and Gracie Ann Crosby. The Laura Hoke Skatel Community Service Award is awarded to a senior based upon his or her unselfish involvement in the community, care, and outreach of the less fortunate and concern for others. This year's recipient is Emily Marie Barros. The Army ROTC Scholarship is awarded to a senior who has achieved a meritorious record in academic studies, extracurricular participation, and athletics activities, and who has demonstrated exceptional leadership potential, as well as expressed desire to serve as an officer in the United States Army. This year's recipient is Bella Carroll Kissel. The Knights of Columbus Scholarship is awarded to a BE graduate who is Catholic, reflects the qualities of good Catholic citizenship, and plans to attend a Catholic university. This year's recipient is Emma Louise Albano. The next two awards go to students who were selected by the principal. The Jarvis Cup is given to a student with an interest in the business field and who demonstrates outstanding qualities in the field of business. This year's recipient is Griffin John Murphy. The Mr. and Mrs. Syed F. Shaheed Award goes to a Catholic student who has attended Bishop England all 4 years, has an overall average of at least an 85, and has participated in at least 2 activities, such as a sport, club, or community service. This year's recipient is Logan Davis Jezchek. It's nice and wet. I will now present the Bishop England Athletic Awards. The George L. Griffith Memorial Scholarship is given to a senior athlete who has shown great determination and effort. This year's the recipient is John Raymond Ryder. The Triple B School Spirit Scholarship is given to a senior boy or girl who has played sports and has shown outstanding sportsmanship. This year's recipient is Kayla Renee Rooney. The Jack Julliard Football Award presented to the outstanding senior football player is awarded to Sullivan Ashby Clare. The Father Kelley Leadership Baseball Award is given to a senior baseball player who has shown outstanding leadership ability. This year's recipient is William Cole Anderson. The Michael L. Rooney Jr. Memorial Cup for genuine school spirit, responsibility, dependability, and integrity while participating in athletic and extracurricular activities at Bishop Anglin High School is presented to Shauna Marie Swanson. The Robert Radcliffe Athletic Award is presented to the outstanding senior boy basketball player. This year's recipients are Patrick Michael Antonelli and Christopher Aiden McCool. The Julie Hamilton Memorial Award is presented to outstanding senior girl basketball player. This year, the award is given to Emma Louise Albano. The Tommy Reynolds Sportsmanship Award is presented to a senior who has participated in 2 or more sports at Bishop Anglin High School and who has exemplified class in athletic competition. This year's award goes to Charles Hampton Michelle. The Coach Bill Rooney Senior Award is presented to the outstanding senior football and basketball player. This year, the award is given to Cameron Christopher Costa. The KFC Spirit Award is presented to a senior cheerleader who is well-rounded, demonstrates a compassionate, enthusiastic, inspiring, and hardworking attitude both in school and in the sport. This year's award goes to Ashley Ann Binns. The Carroll Poole Memorial Scholarship is given to track athletes for their excellence on the track, team leadership, and dedication of the sport of track and field. This year's recipients are Emma Louise Albano and Daniel James Polk. The Bill Stadelman Scholarship is presented to the cross-country athletes for their excellence in cross-country, academics, dedication, and team leadership. This year's recipients are Daniel Vincent Infante and Kayla Renee Rooney. The Collizzi Memorial Scholarship is presented in memory of Sam and Marlene Collizzi to athletes who competed in cross-country and/or track and field, demonstrating excellence in cross-country and track, academics, dedication to the team, and team leadership. This year's recipients are Logan Davis Deschek, Shauna Marie Swanson, and Patricia Suzanne George. The class of 2020 has earned approximately 216 scholarships worth over $6 million. Good job. Our final award is actually new to our lineup this year. It is called the Bishop of the Year Award. Last year, a new tradition was started at Bishop Anglin where a Bishop of the Month was selected from each class by the administration and announced at each all-school mass. This award gave all of our students something to look forward to and to strive to achieve. Since our seniors' last quarter of high school was decimated by COVID-19 and they had to miss out on the presentation of the last two Bishops of the Month, the senior class, aka the COVID class, as Father Babick has labeled them, decided to award a Bishop of the Year from amongst the graduating seniors. The person selected as Bishop of the Year is described by her peers as positive, dedicated, easygoing, sweet, encouraging, and friendly. She is a role model and is always putting others before herself. She taught the class as a whole how to take life's curveballs in stride while smiling the entire way through. She was very involved during her time at Bishop Anglin, having served on class boards, the CSMC, the Pro-Life Club, Campus Ministry, the Literary Magazine, the Bellas, the Band of Buddies, and the Ping Pong Club. The 2020 COVID class Bishop of the Year is Sarah Elizabeth Gordon.
Now, Mrs. Mary Ann Tucker, Associate Principal, will announce the graduates.
Congratulations. Graduation is a formal celebration of those students who have successfully earned the privilege of having Bishop Anglin diplomas awarded to them. Because of the formal nature of the ceremony, we ask that parents, guests, and graduates refrain from applauding or yelling out for an individual graduate. Applause will take place after all graduates have received their diplomas. The following seniors have successfully completed requirements recommended by the state of South Carolina and Bishop Anglin High School for receiving their high school diplomas from the Most Reverend Robert E. Guglielmone, the Bishop of Charleston, assisted by Mr. Patrick Finneran. Seniors, please stand and remain standing until all diplomas have been awarded. Emma Louise Albano with honors. Alexis Susan Moss with honors. Harrison Weldon Esty with honors. Nathan Joseph Abdu. Joshua Lawrence Adams. William Cole Anderson. Patrick Michael Antonelli. Angel Asiain Salceda. Adelaide Jane Backrote. Mariana Sophia Bakel. Emily Marie Barros with honors. Catherine Danielle Beck. Sykes Joshua Berry. Ashley Ann Benz with honors. Browning Windsor Emerson Blair. Brianna Elise Blanchard. Catherine Ann Blumel. Gabrielle Hélène Bouchard. Nicole Catherine Boyd. Peter John Bride. Marco Antonio Bruette. Chase Christopher Bruder. Anna Catherine Burton with honors. Kristen Jude Caputo with honors. Edwin George Carpenter. Ellie Malone Kerrigan. Mariana Isabel Carson. Freya Camilla Escaño Sinense. Sullivan Ashby Clare with honors. Chloe Caroline Cobb. Alyssa Marie Condor. Cameron Christopher Costa. Kennedy Louise Coop. Gracie Ann Crosby. Marley Olivia Cunningham. Catherine Butler Curtis. Zachary Cade DeCuba. Julie Allison DeFaria. Alexis Taylor DeMarco. Logan Davis Deschek. Olivia Hope Dussault. Jackson Tucker Ely. Raymond Christian Escato. Michael Sylvester Esparza. Andrew Michael Ferry. Alexander Joseph Fisher. Emily Cobb Flanders. Liam Joseph French. John Edward Frick. Camille Marie Garner. Patricia Suzanne George. Sarah Elizabeth Gordon. Jordan Haley Guancione. Mary Love Guerreri. Davis Grant Harkey. Finley Robin Harris. Kevin David Hart. Owen Thomas Hecker. Brandon Douglas Hooks. Christopher Ballard Housley. Julia Hay Hunter with honors. Grace Ann Ieria. Daniel Vicente Infante with honors. Caitlin Marie Jakowski. Caitlin Suzanne Jackson. Mary Caroline Jackson. Caroline Maris Jordan. Annalise Christine Kiefer. Michael McCallum Kerrigan. Patrick Daniel Kerrigan. Elizabeth Annette King. J. Michael King. Macara Jane King. Bella Carol Kissel. Katarina Victoria Klein. John Michael Kraft. Ian Jeffrey Larrow. Madison Nicole Lawless. Anne Elise Lawrence. Jacqueline Grace Lawrence. Madeline Hayward Lawrence. Murphy Nicholas Lawrence. Edward Youngjun Lee. Zachary John Owen Lewis. Adriana Patricia Lohr. Michael Joseph Marcacci. McKenna Lynn Martin. Emma Jane Mazer. Christopher Aiden McCool. Jaron Charles McCoy with honors. Molly McGrain McManus. Jillian Grace McMurtry with honors. Matthew Jacques McQuaid. Rachel Teresa McCrae. Alexa Mackenzie Meeks. George Franz Meyer IV. Charles Hampton Michelle. Thomas Mark Michelle. Benjamin Irvin Miller. Sasha Nikolaevna Morton. Marlo Marie Moxley. Madison Ann Mummert. Griffin John Murphy. Jake Scott Nadeau with honors. Luke Davis Noble. Riley Marie O'Brien. Erin Catherine O'Connor with honors. James Warren O'Connor. Jordan Adair O'Connor. Luke Patrick Olagino with honors. Coleman Drew Owens. Stephen Colin Panko. Hugo Alejandro Paredes Jr. Alexander Wojciech Pollock. Daniel James Polk. Emily Maria Poole. Dalton Lim Posadas. Ellison Ann Potts. Emma Kate Puckhaber. Jose Julian Rentas with honors. Jessica Ann Restivo. Natalie Lauren Rice with honors. John Raymond Ryder. John Nicholas Roddy. Riley Ann Ross. Kayla Renee Rooney. Margaret Catherine Runyon. John Michael Sabo. Adam Riley Salmoran. Colby Altman Searson. Caroline Grace Seymour. Cameron Reed Shippey with honors. Addison Eliza Stowell. Caroline Rose Sumner. Shauna Marie Swanson. Amelia Grace Tessier. Chloe Madison Tribolette. Mary Catherine Werner. James Anthony Volatich. Brian Michael Wayne. Catherine Louise Weaver. Ainsley Corinne Western with honors. Claudia Pearl White. James Harrison Woods. James McDowell Wyman. And finally, John Carr Wysong. Please join me in congratulating the Bishop England High School class of 2020.
It's tassel time. Yeah! All right. Please be seated. At this time, I would like to introduce Emma Louise Albano, the first honor graduate who will give the valedictory.
On behalf of the class of 2020, I would like to personally thank Bishop Guglielmone, Dr. Martaccio, Mrs. Leatherwood, Mrs. Kasprowski, Father Zielinski, Mr. Finneran, and all the friends and family that are here celebrating with us tonight. Well, we did it. And although you have your diplomas, I regret to inform you that now you have to listen to me speak before you can actually leave. So you're not quite done yet. Our time together has come to an end, and congratulations to everyone here who has persevered and accomplished the task of completing high school. Now I'm supposed to take this time and talk about our future. Time is a funny thing, though. It appears both as our friend and our enemy. We can look at the last 4 years as flying by and now we're done. Or we can look at the last 4 years with regret and disappointment. High school took forever, or there are so many things I wish I had done better. The saying, good things takes time, is relevant to all of us. This good thing, graduating high school, took 4, well technically 18 years of our lives. However, that time is now up, and we must venture into the world on our own. For many of us, our near future includes another 4 years at school. But for others, that may include taking a break, working, or even joining our military. So I ask you all to remember your past time here at Bishop Anglin while we work to accomplish the goals that we have set for our lives. But I also encourage you all not to dwell on the past. Do not let yourselves be defined by trivial matters. Think of how we have already affected the lives of not only those around us, but society as a whole. I mean, girls, we started those plaid skirts. How lucky are we? We also are known as a special class sandwiched between 2 historic events, beginning with the horrific events of 9/11 and graduating in the midst of a global pandemic. So if you ask me, we're already famous. But do not let just these events define your life. We are so much more than just the COVID class. Together, we have won over 20 state championships as a class. 20. We have survived numerous weather catastrophes, that snowstorm sophomore year, and both hurricanes Matthew and Dorian. We are famously known as the battling bishops, and look at all the battles we have already won. So let's continue to win them. For it is not the obstacles or battles that define us. It is how we respond from these difficulties. It is vital that we respond selflessly, putting the good of others before our own. Family dinner at my house usually almost always includes my dad asking me and my siblings what we have done today for someone else. Well, along with the sibling bickering and my fits of laughter because my brother or my dad did something stupid. My parents are more interested in what I have done to make someone else better than my own personal accomplishments. My parents have helped me realize that in putting others before myself, I'm able to accomplish so much more. So in your future, take the time to further the success of those around you, because ultimately we will be judged by our actions towards the least of our brothers and sisters. Jesus tells his disciples that it was when they did not clothe, feed, or give drink to their neighbors that they did not do these things to him. Looking forward, I encourage you to help others in need before you help yourself. Take the time to ensure a friend's success. The relationships you develop throughout your life will be more important than your greatest ambitions. And your relationships begin first and foremost with our Father in heaven. Here at Bishop Anglin, our faculty and staff use their time to emphasize the Father's love for us. They're so much more than just teachers or coaches. Personally, the impact they have had on me is monumentous. Where else could you go where your English teacher wishes you good luck the night before a college visit? Or your math teacher lets you put your feet on her desk in the middle of class? or your chem teacher drives up to his alma mater to give you a tour around campus, or your history teacher makes up a question for the school chaplain just so you can spend an extra few minutes in the chapel. Here at BE, our teachers care about progressing our education as well as remaining primarily focused on developing you as a child of God. We owe them so much more than a mere thank you. But on behalf of the class of 2020, we are incredibly grateful for the lasting impact that each and every one of you have had on our lives. At BE, we have been able to strengthen old relationships as well as form new ones that I know will last forever. It's the best friend that you've had since kindergarten, or the friend you only just met freshman year, who will encourage and motivate you to become the best version of yourself. I urge you to recognize the importance of the relationships you have built and will be building over the next chapters of your lives. Surround yourself with people who will bring you closer to God. Those people you can call at 4 a.m., and for some strange reason, they're going to answer. So take this time and thank all those classmates and students who have contributed to your success this far. And finally, thank your families, your parents, grandparents, brothers and sisters, who have each had a hand in your own accomplishments. The sacrifices some have had to offer in order to give you a Catholic education, a Bishop Anglin education, are more than we will ever know. I know we do not say it enough, but we truly appreciate everything you have done to ensure our success. Personally, I could not imagine how I would be here standing in front of you all without my own family. Ava, thanks for letting me wake you up before 8 a.m. every day for the past 3 months, just because I need attention. And Olivia, those 10-mile bike rides will never be forgotten. Thank you for being my voice of reason for the last 4 years of mental breakdowns. Leo, oh boy, just you wait. You have 2 more years. But thank you for being my role model and setting an example through your hard work and humility. Dad, thanks for letting me beat you up when I needed to get some energy out. But most of all, thank you for teaching me how becoming involved in something bigger than myself has allowed me to realize how my efforts shape the lives of everyone around me. Finally, I have never met someone who exhibits more traits of the Blessed Mother than my own mom. If I am able to become half the mother you are to me, I know my kids will succeed. Thank you for constantly putting me and my siblings' needs before your own, for your incredible and unmatched patience, and most of all, for taking the time to lead us closer to Christ. So as a wise friend once told me, time is your enemy and time is your friend. While our time here at Bishop Anglin may have been some of the best 4 years, time now moves on and we must venture off to new beginnings. As our time here is ending, time seems to be our enemy. But we must keep our heads up, knowing that our Father has greater plans than we can ever imagine in store for us. Yes, in our future, heartache and pain are inevitable. But do not make time your enemy as you dwell on your mistakes. Make it your friend as you take the time to overcome all the obstacles that prevent you from succeeding. Thank you.
I am now pleased to introduce the Most Reverend Robert E. Guglielmone, Bishop of Charleston, who will offer some closing remarks and who will give the benediction.
Thank you. It is truly a privilege and pleasure for me to be here with you. Just a few thoughts, if I might. Before any of you were born, there was a movie that came out, and possibly you might have seen it. So many opportunities for old movies, especially during these last couple of months. The movie was called Alfie. And as part of that movie, there was a song that included a question. And the question was repeated a lot throughout that movie. The question was very simple. What's it all about? That's an important question. And I think it's a question that we've been hearing, or at least surmising, that many people have been asking in this year 2020. These last 6 months have been indeed very different, very much misunderstood, and I think many people, including, I'm sure, some of you, have been asking that same question. What's it all about? But I think before we can even think about the answer to that question, we have to figure out to whom are we addressing the question. We should, I think, be addressing the question to the one who really has the answer. And there's only one person that really has the answer, and that is our God. The question was asked many, many times in the history of salvation. And one of the places in the Scriptures that we see that question asked is in the Old Testament, in the book of the prophet Micah, chapter 6. And the question is saying, what's it all about? Not using those words. They use different words. The prophet asks the question in a different way. He asks the question to God, what is it that you want from me that is going to make this world more a reflection of what you planned of your kingdom? And the prophet gets an answer to that question. The answer to the question is very simply, there are only 3 things that God wants from you. Only 3 things that if you actually live them to the fullest, you will see a world much better than anything you have experienced. And the answer to the question is this: what are we supposed to do? The answer is simply act justly, love tenderly, walk humbly with your God. Let's look at these last 6 months. A virus that has overtaken the world. All kinds of difficulties in terms of racial injustice, racism, and then, of course, in the personal lives of many, so many people becoming sick with the virus. And I know that for many of you, and for many Bishop England students, not too long ago, having to deal with the death of a recent alumni of Bishop England. It has not been easy. Finishing a school year without the opportunity to come together, without some of the celebrations that are really so much of the bonding experience of a class. Not having a prom, not having a graduation under normal circumstances, but rather sitting in the rain and dealing with all kinds of wonderful experiences. But that would be the advice that I think is important for all of us tonight, and especially for you as you go forward. Do you want a world that is more a reflection of the kingdom of God? It's not going to happen unless we make it happen, unless you do your part to make it happen. Act justly. Treat every human being in justice. Love tenderly. Think of all that you can do to affirm and raise up the aspirations of those with whom you will come into contact as you continue your journey of life. And then finally, walk humbly with your God by recognizing that you can't do it without God in your life. It just won't happen. But if you take those words of the prophet Micah seriously, if you do your best to act with justice, if you do your best to love completely, unconditionally, and reach out to people in love, and if you walk with your God, we will see a world far better than anything we have experienced to this point. So don't let these last few months simply be the memories you have. You have so many good things. You have wonderful families. You have wonderful education. You have wonderful opportunities to walk humbly with your God. I just ask you, do it. Do it, not only for your own sake, but the sake of our world and for the sake of us older folks who really need your enthusiasm, your affirmation, your willingness to do what God asks. I congratulate you. You've been a wonderful group, a wonderful class. You've done great things for Bishop Anglin, and as a diocese, we're very proud of you. And so I just ask you to go forward from this night, from Bishop Anglin, and take all that has been part of your experience here and your experience prior and make a difference. May I ask you please now to stand, and let's just ask the Lord to be with us. Gracious and loving God, we thank you for all of the opportunities that you have given to all of us. And tonight, in a special way, all of the blessings you have bestowed on these graduates gathered here this evening. Give them your strength. Let them realize that you are active in their lives. Help them to respond to your grace. Help them to live lives worthy of the calling that you give to each of them. Bless them, bless their families, bless all with whom they will come in contact. We ask all of this through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. And may God's blessings come upon you, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
I would like to thank Bishop Guglielmone for his inspiring words. Now a few very quick words. The single most powerful thing one can possess in life is love. Love of oneself, the others around you, and love of the journey ahead. And from this love branches humbleness and humility, a natural gratefulness for what you've been blessed with in life. If y'all take a second and look around now, look at the beautiful city we live in, the schools we get to attend, the families around us. We are all blessed by God more than we can ever possibly imagine. And from this humbleness of what you have branches an indestructible attitude, an attitude and a mindset so indestructible and bulletproof that literally nobody will stop you. And that's an attitude of going out there in the world and absolutely dominating. It's the mindset that, hey, life is ridiculously short and I can't stop that. But what I can do is get out there, spread love, and go kill it. Throughout the time I spent with y'all, I was filled with an immense amount of love, so much love. All humans have the desire to love and be loved. That's what we were created to do. Love is just the answer. Love is everything. So yes, it's the last time we will all be assembled together, but with our new mindset, we are ready to get out there, realize our blessings, and go spread love and be absolutely fearless. Y'all, it was a complete honor serving as your friend, teammate, and class president. From here on out, all of us, the entire class of 2020, and including the parents too, shout out to y'all, are going to get out there in the world, be messy, mess up, but spread love and go kill it. And for the last time together, the signature sign-off. And as always, peace! Now to end our commencement exercises, please stand and join in the singing of the Alma Mater.